We got our last topic of the week. The season's not over yet, Mario. We got Super Wild Card Weekend. There are 6 games going on, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. We will cover them all for you and give you our predictions for each, like we did with the regular season. So, with that said, Mario, you ready?
Let's do this.
All right, we got our first game on the list for Saturday. Give it to me. It's the 7 seed Colts and the third second seed Bills. I think they're the second seed. Are they? Yeah, they're the second
Yes.
seed. Yeah, because Kansas City got the bye. That's right. All right. I'm just gonna read one insight for each team. I'll start with the Colts. Frank Reich is the fifth head coach in the last 30 seasons to face a team that drafted them in the playoffs. 3 of their previous 4 losses to their draft team. And as for the Bills, they have lost 6 straight playoff games. That's something to be a little concerned about. Um, Hey, look, man. I think this is going to be a very good game. All right. I think it's going to be one of the better games this
I
weekend.
agree.
The Colts put up a very great season this year. I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the league.
Agree.
Same thing with the Bills. I don't think the Bills are underrated. I think they're just a powerhouse to be. They're a force to be reckoned with. I don't know what else to say. Um, with that said, this one's a little tough, man, because both have high flying offenses.
Right.
Both have great defenses. Um, Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be a very high scoring game. I can already see it. But I think I got the Bills winning on top. To be quite honest with you, I think they're gonna snap that losing streak in the playoffs. To be honest.
Look, as a Viking fan, I'm very interested in this. I'm gonna tell you why. We got Xavier Rose versus Stephon Diggs. These two used to be catty. They used to be chirpy against each other. They scrapped. They fought in practice. Like these guys have been kicked out of practice for talking trash to each other. I can't wait to see these two square up against each other.
Right.
Here's what I'm gonna say though: Xavier Rose ain't beating Stephon Diggs. There ain't no way it's happening. There's no way it's happening. Okay, Stephon Diggs is just too good this year. Josh Allen's just too accurate this year.
Animals.
Now, I'm gonna say this: every team has a chance of winning. The Indianapolis Colts, I feel like the best way for them to win, they got a great defense. Obviously, the defense got to step up, but that's gonna be really hard to say against Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. On offense, I believe that if Josh Taylor can have a great game, if Philip Rivers can stay accurate and not throw too many, and not get too many turnovers or throw too many picks, I believe that the Indianapolis Colts have a good chance of winning this game. But even with that being said, I got Buffalo winning.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be a really great game in my opinion. It's gonna be the best one this weekend. With that said, we got the next game on the list. Give it to me. It's the 6 seeded Rams and the 3 seeded Seahawks. Um, Again, I'll just give you one insight from each side. The Rams are the 8th team in the last 25 seasons to lead the NFL in scoring defense, total defense, and pass defense in a single season. And the Seahawks have allowed 150.4 fewer total yards per games in the second half of the season, which is the largest such improvement by any team since the NFL moved to a 16-game regular season in 1978. Um, I think this is going to be a good game too. I'm gonna keep it real. It's gonna be the exact opposite of the Colts and Bills. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I'm gonna tell you why. All right, both the Rams and the Seahawks have not been scoring that many points before the season. I mean, their last like 4 or 5 games, the most they could get up to is like over 20 points. So I don't think this. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a defensive game. I really do think so. I think it's gonna be a very low scoring game, and I think this one's a little tough too. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but I think, to be honest, I might have to pick the Seahawks. I might. It's tough. It really is.
No, I agree with you. I think the Seahawks are gonna win. Um, here's what's tough about it.
Mm.
Hey Ramsey.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna say this: unless you're a very speedy wide receiver, like unless you're like a Tyreek Hill, like a Stephon Diggs, somebody who's quick, like a Devontae Adams, maybe, right? Unless you're somebody like that, Jalen Ramsey's locking you down the whole game.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Look what he did to DeAndre Hopkins. DK Metcalf has no success against Jalen Ramsey, none. Okay, now I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying DK Metcalf can't like put a move on him and be physical with him. But here's the thing: Jalen Ramsey is one of the most physical corners in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love him so much. I love physical corners. I like smart corners, but physical corners are so entertaining to watch. Okay, Jalen Ramsey's got a mouth. He likes to run it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if you can back it up, do it. Like if you can back it up, I ain't got no problem with you talking crap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then you should shut up real quick. But like if you somebody like Jalen Ramsey and the skill that he has, if you can talk it and you can back it up, then do it. So with DK versus Ramsey, I got Ramsey winning that matchup. The Seahawks, though, here's the thing: they haven't been playing that good, right?
Yeah, right.
But the one thing they have been doing is winning. They win, and that's what Russell Wilson is good at. He's good at winning. You know what I'm saying? We're not asking Russell Wilson to put up 50 points on the board every game,
Right.
which he was doing. He was putting up a good, nice little 40 every single week for like the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then after that he kind of slid down.
Right.
But if you look at the Seahawks, they're really good at winning. They had a loss against the Giants, but like give the Giants credit on that. You know what I'm saying? They played a good game. But I believe this will go like maybe 26-20, and I believe the Seahawks can have a good win off of this. But but in order for them to win, you're not going to rely on DK Metcalf. It's going to have to go to somebody like Tyler Lockett, or it's going to have to go to Chris Carson, or Russell Wilson's going to have to make people. He's going to have to make plays. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
so with that being said, I got the Seahawks winning it too, but I can definitely see this being a close game.
Absolutely. And we got the last Saturday game. Give it to me. It's the number 5 Buccaneers and the number 4 football team. Can you believe that? Can you believe this football team has a damn home field advantage? I mean, it's funny. Anyway, let's not make fun of let's not make fun of teams. They made the playoffs, unlike my team. I'll start with the Bucs first. This is Tom Brady's 18th playoff berth, but his first one as a wild card team. I thought it was. Oh, that was a little confusing to me. I was reading that the other day, and I thought he had a wild card appearance before. I don't know. Anyway, as for the football team, the football team is the first team since the 2013 Seahawks to allow 20 points or fewer in each of the last 7 games of the regular season. This one, I got the Bucs winning this game, but I'll tell you this. All right, I'll say this: I got the Bucs winning. I don't think it's going to be easy on them. I'm gonna keep it real. Chase Young says he wants that to go. And we said this the other day, when we were announcing the players of the month. Chase Young has become a leader in this Washington football team defense, and that defense is top 5 in the league, hands down. I don't want to hear it. And it's all led by Chase Young. So and he wants that Tom Brady. He's going to do whatever he can to get at him. But I think what's really going to stop the football team is the lack of offense. And I was reading it yesterday. Alex Smith is questionable.
Right.
So, and I know Alex Smith is a shell of his former self. He's not really the same, but he's still good. He still looked at his offense to do what they got to do. But with him questionable, that's a bad thing. And if he wasn't questionable, I probably would have still had the Bucs. Well, I think the Bucs will. I don't think the Bucs will have a problem with the football team's offense.
No, I think the Bucs will win. I mean, it's only. I don't know if they're going to make a Super Bowl appearance, but that's a different prediction for a different time. I think the Bucs will win. I think the Bucs are definitely going to win. I think it could be close too. It all look, if a corner talks trash, right?
Right.
That's a different story. And you know what I'm saying? Like every player has to prove himself. If you're gonna talk trash to Brady, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you can back it up.
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing. Brady throws at the corner, right? Brady throws at the wide receiver, whoever's guarding that corner. If I'm a corner, I'm talking trash, be like, I'm gonna come after Brady, where I got Brady's number, whatever, right?
Right.
Okay. Brady can keep targeting the wide receiver I'm guarding, right? And the wide receiver keeps catching. Here's the thing. Chase Young will have as much success as whoever the offensive lineman guarding him is will let him.
Right.
So now Brady has a little factor in this, and the factor that he has is how quick of a release Tom Brady has. So there's a lot of guys who can't stack Tom Brady.
Right.
It's a very hard thing to do. I know he's a slow guy. I know he doesn't move a lot, but you need to get to him very, very quickly because Tom Brady has one of the quickest releases from a quarterback I've ever seen. And so Chase Young can definitely hit him a few times. He can definitely get him to the ground. How many times can Chase Young really sack him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's up to Chase Young to put that pressure on Tom Brady. Now, Chase Young's biggest threat is not Tom Brady, though. His biggest threat is whoever's in front of him guarding him. Because if that guy just blocks him the whole game, Chase Young ain't going to really have that big of a factor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to have to rely on guys like Montez Sweat. You're going to have to rely on guys like Darren Payne and Jonathan Allen on those lines because they got I think the Washington football team, I'm going to be real with you, has the best defensive line in the game.
Right.
I think they had the best defensive line in the game. I don't think it's close. So the Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young, I think they're a great defensive line.
Absolutely.
And so they have a chance to beat the Bucs. But it all depends. It depends on how good this Washington football team defense is going to play. And honestly, I think it starts with Chase Young. Again, that's the young leader right there. I think it starts with Chase Young. Chase Young talked all that. I'm coming for Brady. I want Tom. Well, now you got your chance to get him. Come Saturday. Good luck to you, man.
I'm kind of excited.
I got the Bucs winning this game.
I'm excited to see that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Next game on the list for Sunday, we got the next 3 Sunday games. Give it to me. It's the number 5 Ravens and the number 4 Titans. This is gonna be another good game. I think it's gonna be another good game. All right, let me give you insights on both sides. I'll do one for each. I'll start with the Ravens. The Ravens have averaged 14.5 points per game in 2 playoff games with Lamar Jackson as the starter, and 30.6 points per game in regular season in Jackson starts. And one for the Titans, the 2000 Rams are the only team to allow more points per game, 29.4, than the 2020 Titans, with 27.4, among the 589 teams to make the playoffs in the Super Bowl era. Oh man, this is gonna be just like I think it's gonna be just like the Bills and the Colts game. It's gonna be a very high scoring game. That Titans team is nothing to shy down upon. But I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. The Ravens picked up the slack at the end of the season. Lamar Jackson took that little poopy in Cleveland, and he came out and just started showing us something that we haven't seen from him all year. This is a tough pick. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what? As good as the Titans are this season, for some reason, my heart says the Ravens are gonna win this game.
This guy said Lamar Jackson took a
poop.
Look, biggest factor for the Titans win this game is going to be that defense.
Right.
It's not going to be. I'm going to be real with you. It ain't going to be Derrick Henry.
Best rushing in the entire league.
It's not going to be Derrick Henry. It's not. And the reason why I say that is because the Baltimore Ravens do have a good defense. And I'm not saying they're going to shut down Derrick Henry. You can't really. Derrick Henry's going to have a good night. But the reason why I say it's the Titans defense is because we are forgetting how good the Baltimore Ravens rushing in general is.
In my opinion, it's the best in the league.
I mean, when you average 150 yards per when you average 150 yards per game, that is very impressive. And so it's all about how good the Titans defense is going to be. And they almost lost. They almost lost against the Texans, or they almost went into overtime against the Texans, a team who has a good offense but kind of struggled a little bit this year, not because of Deshaun Watson, but just because they struggled a little bit.
Right.
So this is going to be really tough. I got the. Ooh, it's hard.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is, because you look at Derrick Henry, but you see what he did last time against them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the Ravens win this game too. I think Lamar Jackson's gonna clutch up and get his first playoff win.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing on Lamar Jackson's resume that is really tinting him. It's his 0-2 record in the playoffs.
Right. Absolutely.
He lost to the Chargers one year, and he lost to the
Titans last year.
Last year.
Right.
So this is the rematch. Lamar Jackson, you have a chance to get your redemption. You have a chance to prove that you are not only just a good player, not only that you can win the playoffs, but you can also beat the team that beat you.
Right.
Okay, the question right now is the Ravens kryptonite? I don't believe it is. I believe that Lamar Jackson's going to walk into this game. He's going to have a night. As good as Derrick Henry is, I think Lamar Jackson will literally rip through this whole Titans defense. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at the two sides of the ball, I'm going to be honest with you. The Titans have a very good offense, okay? I do edge them a little bit over the Ravens defense, but just a little bit. The Ravens defense, I think, is so much better than the Titans.
Absolutely.
And I think that Ravens defense, will they let go of 100 yards on a TD on Derrick Henry? Absolutely. That's normal. But here's the thing. I do not think that the Titans defense can keep up with that Ravens defense. So with that being said, give me the Ravens to win this game.
Absolutely. That's going to be a really good game too. Next game on the list, give it to me. It's the number 7 Bears and the number 2 Saints. Quick insights real quick. The Bears made the playoffs without a top 10 scoring defense for the first time since 1977. And Drew Brees is 5-0 with 10 passing TDs and 0 interceptions versus the Bears over the last 10 seasons. I think this is just like how the Ravens Titans is the same as that thing as the Colts and the Bills. This is going to be the same as that thing as the Buccaneers and the football team. I think the Bears defense is going to give them a lot of trouble. It's going to give the Saints a lot of trouble. I got the Saints winning. I got you with this, right? Just like the football team about how the football team defense is going to make the Bucs trouble. It's the same thing here. The Bears defense is not going to let the Saints get away with a clean win. It's as simple as that. They have one of the best defenses in the league. But I think what it really comes down to is not only the defense, but I think it's going to come down to Mr. Trubisky too. It really has to, because if you look at it, right, one of the Bears' number one biggest problem is the quarterback situation. Mr. Trubisky started off the year pretty bad. Then Nick Foles comes in, and he not doing a good job. Then he gets injured. Now Mr. Trubisky has to come back in and do his job. And I'm gonna be honest, Mr. Trubisky actually came in and did relatively decent. I'm not gonna side out on that. But he's facing another juggernaut in the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints are looking to get to that Super Bowl after all those great teams they had years before, and they just lost. So Mr. Trubisky is gonna have to step up, but honestly, I don't think he's gonna power through the Saints. I'm gonna be real with you.
Saints blow up. Simple. I'm not saying nothing else. Like, let me keep it real. Let me tell you why. I'll give you a little bit of. I'll give you a little taste of the reason why I believe this. Okay. The Bears have let go of 30 plus points against the Packers. Packers are a good offense, right? Let go of 27. Let go of was it 27? 27 against the Vikings. Vikings are a good offense, top 5 actually. Okay. We're gonna act like Drew Brees isn't a good quarterback. We're gonna act like Alvin Kamara didn't make an All-Pro team. We're gonna act like the Saints ain't good. We're gonna act like that offensive line is not one of the best in the league. Let me tell you something. This Bears defense the past few weeks has been horrible. I'm keeping it real. I've seen so last game against the Packers. I've seen so many plays where the Bears could have easily picked the ball off. It's right in their hands and they drop it. This is not. I'm not seeing the same Khalil Mack. I'm sorry. I don't. The only guy on this team that can probably have a factor and an impact is Akeem Hicks. That's it. And maybe Roquan Smith. Those are the only 2 guys. Khalil Mack, I don't think he's been that great this past few games. Okay. Eddie Jackson, not that great these past few games. Fuller, not great these past. I'm sorry, but the Bears defense is not the Bears defense that I fear no more. It's not. I remember how I talked about I love this. The Bears defense used to be my favorite. These last the few weeks before, they were my favorite defense because they were so physical. Every single time a team got a catch, all I see is the Bears punting that football, trying to get it out. I love that physical play. But you're letting go of 27 points against the Vikings. You're letting go of 35 points against the Packers. And on top of that, yes, Trubisky had a good game. Okay. Guess who really carried them again to get the win against the Vikings? It was David Montgomery. David Montgomery is a great running back. Don't get me wrong, he's a very great running back this season. Okay. He started off very crappy, and I thought he was one of the worst running backs in the league. See, I said this dude's terrible. They have one of the worst running backs. And then in the last few weeks, he just lit it up. So they can win. I think if they're going to win, it ain't going to go through Trubisky. Trubisky has no chance, I don't think, against the Saints defense. He aims at Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore is going to make him pay. He aims at Janoris Jenkins. Janoris Jenkins is going to make him pay. He aims at Demario Davis. Demario Davis is going to shut him up real quick. He aims, and not to mention that the Saints have Trey Hendrickson, who had like about 13 sacks this year, and Cam Jordan. So you know what? I'm sorry. I think Trubisky's going to have a very rough night. I think he's going to all rely on David Montgomery. And like I tell you, I say that the running back has to make the quarterback's job easy. The quarterback has to do the same thing. And honestly, I think David Montgomery's gonna. I think David Montgomery might have a good night, but I think this is gonna be one of David Montgomery's hardest fought games because I cannot see Mitchell Trubisky playing a good game. So here's what I say. I say the Saints are gonna get over 40 points on their ass, and I think the Bears would be lucky if they hit 24.
Hey, look,
That's what I'm going
I'm
with.
just waiting for those Mitch Trubisky memes where he got drafted over Patrick Mahomes. I'm just waiting for those memes are funny.
Hey, look. I mean, no matter what Trubisky does, I don't think he'll ever Patrick Mahomes. It was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, we got the final game on this list. Give it to me. Oh man, I'm gonna watch this game on TV. I'll explain to you guys in a minute. It's the number 6 Browns and the number 3 Steelers. Listen. All right. I'm gonna give you some insights, and I'm gonna talk to you guys for a minute. Cause I saw something on ESPN this morning. I mean, sick. All right, now just wait. All right, the Browns' last road win versus the Steelers was in Week 5 of 2003, and Baker Mayfield was 8 years old. I was 2 years old. Anyway, Steelers are 35-7-1 versus the Browns since 2000, which is including the playoffs, which is tied for the most wins by any team versus a single opponent in that span. All right, I gotta talk to you guys for a minute. All right. Juju this morning, right? This dude, I love Juju Smith-Schuster. I actually like this kid, all right? This dude, all right, was on the record, right? And I'm trying to pull up the quote right now. So bear with me for a minute. But from an analytic standpoint, I got the Steelers winning only because of a lot of the issues that the Browns are suffering right now. But my heart, at this point, wants the Browns to kick the Steelers' asses. Let me tell you why, all right? Here's what Juju said. You guys want to hear this? You got this, all right? This is what he said on the rivalry with the Cleveland Browns. I think they're still the same Browns team I play every year. I think they're the nameless gray faces. They have a couple of good players on this team, but at the end of the day, the Browns are the Browns. You know who that reminds me of, people? You know what that reminds me of? Antonio Brown. That sounds like something Antonio Brown would say. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I love Juju. I really do. But this dude is acting pathetic. I'm being real with you. I really am. And at the end of the day, my heart wants the Browns to win, so I can on Monday morning, on Monday when we come back and film on Monday, I'm going off on this dude. I'm going off on him. Because if the Steelers lose, you're gonna listen to, you're gonna hear it from me. But with that said, from an analytics standpoint, I got the Steelers winning. I just don't with a lot with Kevin Stefanski out and other players out for the Browns. I don't know. Like I want them to win. It's like the Browns have made the playoffs for almost 20 years, so you want them to win, but I just can't see it happening.
Look, do I completely agree with what Juju Smith said? No, I don't. I think the Cleveland Browns have greatly improved since getting Kevin Stefanski, and I think he did a great job considering the fact that Odell Beckham is hurt. He still made the playoffs, and they're still a winning team. I don't agree with what he said, but here's what I'm saying: talk the talk, you gotta walk that walk. You gotta back it up.
Right.
I can't go out and just say something out the blue and not prove myself. Okay, because if I'm gonna say this, here's what I'm gonna say. If I'm a player, right? I'll take a corner. Okay. Actually, you know what? We'll use the Browns situation, okay? Suppose I'm a wide receiver, right? And I'm Juju Smith, okay?
Right.
Suppose if I say something like I'm gonna get 100 yards on a TD on them, I am doing whatever I can that game to get 100 yards on a TD on him.
Right.
Because if I say something, you gotta work to get that.
Absolutely.
Now here's the thing. He didn't say exactly what he's gonna do to the Browns. Exactly, like he didn't predict anything. But what he did say is that the Browns ain't the same Browns. I don't agree with that. I think the Browns have really improved. I think Kevin Stefanski has done an amazing job with this team. I think that Baker Mayfield has really improved since last year. And Baker Mayfield was one of the most criticized quarterbacks in the league last year, and now you can see what he's done. That being said, I got the Steelers winning. The Cleveland Browns beat him by 2 without Ben.
Right.
Okay. With Ben, I don't think they're gonna beat him. I don't. Now it all depends on how good of a game Ben's gonna have. But
Right.
Ben's also got to get his head out of his rear end and actually play good football.
Right.
His receivers need to stop dropping passes and actually catch the ball. Okay. Look, maybe Juju's saying this because he can't do TikToks on the 50-yard line. Or I don't know. Okay. Hey, look, Juju. If you say this, let me talk to you. Okay. I'm looking at the camera. Let me talk to you. You can still do TikToks in the locker room, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know why what's with the hostility here, dude. Like, come on. Look, I like Juju. I do. Okay. I don't think he's gonna get into like legal trouble like Antonio Brown did.
Right.
I don't think he's really disruptive. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of similarities that starting to look like he's not like he don't have like anger issues. You don't see him like kicking coolers or nothing. But I mean,
throwing couches off the 14-story balcony.
Right. I remember when Antonio Brown was dancing, they warned him. Juju Smith was dancing and they warned him. And Antonio Brown started getting a big mouth. Now Juju Smith starting to get a little bit of that. Look, I don't care if he talks to the moon. I don't care if he says the Browns are nothing, they're dirt. I do not care. But let me tell you something. If you're gonna walk into this game, you're gonna say the Browns aren't that good of a team, you better prove it.
Right.
Not only beat them by 2 points, okay, not only beat them by maybe a score. Now it's up to you to destroy that team. Simple. Absolutely. Okay. Even if the Browns win by if the Steelers win by 1 point, I can't give them that. I don't agree. You have to back up what you say. Okay. Right. And obviously this is a team game. Okay. It's not just Juju. There's another 10 players on that offense. I gotta work. And there's another 11 players on that defense. I gotta work. So I mean, Steelers just gotta focus on winning. That's it. With that being said, I think the Steelers will win. I think they sat Ben, okay, because they wanted to start Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph played a decent game, but at the end of the day, the Browns did good enough to win.
Right.
And the Browns, I don't think they're a fluke team. So if you're gonna look at them like that, that's not the right way to approach the game. You got to look at every single team, whether it's from the Jaguars to the Chiefs, the same way, as if you got to get through them in order to do good things. And you know what? They underestimated the football team. Football team beat them. I think they underestimated Cincinnati Bengals. Even Mike Thomas said it. They did some things we weren't expecting. Cincinnati Bengals won.
They underestimated the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think they underestimated. I just think the Bills were a better team.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I do have the Steelers winning this. I do have the Steelers win this, but Juju Smith, you better back up what you say.
Oh, I'm going to beat them.
With that being said, now look. With that being said, though, I do like Juju. I'm wishing him the best of luck.
I'm wishing everybody the best of luck. Before we end, the number 1 seeds are, of course, the Chiefs and the Packers, because who else? With that said, this is going to be a very exciting weekend. I don't know what else to say. So let's go crazy with this playoff thing.